Let's discuss dementia. Dementia is a progressive worsening of memory, but it might not only be memory. Dementia can also affect personality, judgment. It can cause delusions, hallucinations, paranoias, agitation, especially if it affects the frontal lobe. Usually, the first sign is deficit of recent memory. So, not the old memories which are affected, but more recent memories. What did you do yesterday? Or what did you have for breakfast today? Also, getting lost driving, and there are some other signs also of dementia. So, dementia should never be really dismissed due to aging. People who are starting to exhibit memory issues, especially after a certain age, like 70, one should get it evaluated ideally to screen for dementia. So, what are the types of dementia? Alzheimer's is the most common type of dementia, accounting for more than 80% of dementias. Alzheimer's disease usually starts in temporal and parietal lobes, leading to the deficit with recent memory, and also the visuospatial issues like getting lost when driving. When it starts affecting the frontal lobes, that's when you get the delusions, paranoias, but that's later on in the disease. Early onset Alzheimer's, or early Alzheimer's rather, does not affect the frontal lobes. There are a lot of clinical trials right now with Alzheimer's looking at medicines which can actually break up the amyloid plaques in the brain. And some of that research is fairly promising. But for right now, we have the medicines which we've been using for a while, like the acetylcholinesterase inhibitors like donepezil or Aricept, and the NMDA receptor antagonists like Namenda. The other types of dementia, the second most common type is Lewy body dementia, which is a combination of dementia and Parkinson's signs, also associated with prominent visual hallucinations. Another type of dementia, which is probably the worst kind of dementia, is frontotemporal dementia or Pick's disease. That actually presents with the frontal lobe signs first because it starts in the frontal lobe. And that usually happens at a younger age group than Alzheimer's. So you're looking at 50s, 60s, and associated with a very poor prognosis. Not much can be done about frontotemporal dementia. Luckily, it's not that common as Alzheimer's. It's relatively rare. And then another type of dementia, which I think is really an overblown term, is vascular dementia. The term vascular dementia should only be used if there are multiple strokes in the brain, because Alzheimer's itself has a vascular component. There are all dementias, there's a strong familial component, and patients are obviously concerned about that. But there's a lot of research, as I said, being done, not only to treat Alzheimer's, but also to reduce the incidence of Alzheimer's if there is a familial history especially.